Hot take. You yourself are not progressive if your partner is a Trump supporter. You tolerate bigotry.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Not the nicest weather outside today, so I'm probably gonna try and make this a quick one as my camera is not waterproof whatsoever and these clouds are looking a little unhappy. So we're gonna do what we usually do on these walk and talk videos. I'm just gonna go on X, guaranteed that I'm gonna be able to find 2, 3, 4 clips that we can easily have some fun with, and let's get into it.
Oh, everywhere has immigration laws. You can't just move wherever you want and just live there in any country. But what if I think that's also bad and stupid and wrong and dumb? What would be the worst thing that would happen if everyone just lived where they wanted to live? Something that couldn't also just be solved with another law. This is stupid. It's all just like what people claimed land thousands of years ago, and now we have to follow these arbitrary borders. Stupid. It's stupid. Just go. Let people live where they want to live. Straight up. We're all adults. We're all adults. We'll figure it out.
I really can't do this anymore. I can't do this. How is anyone just getting up every day and going to work? How? I don't... Like, hello? Hello? What's going on?
I'm gonna say this right now, and I completely and fully mean it. I have not seen or met one intelligent Trump supporter. It's the truth.
Imagine being such a big snowflake that you have to have your own version of a halftime show because you can't handle a brown American performing. That's the definition of a snowflake, sorry.
No, I will not be celebrating that Donald Trump ended the war in Gaza, because he didn't. If anybody deserves to be recognized and praised for their efforts in ending this conflict, which is still not entirely ended, it is the people of Palestine. The people of Palestine have relentlessly fought for decades for liberation to still not entirely have it. So no, I will not be praising Donald Trump or his administration for ending the war, ending the conflict, getting the ceasefire deal, because it wasn't him. It was not Donald Trump that did this. It was the perseverance and the persistence of the Palestinian people that got us to where we are, that got them to where they are. It is their efforts, their loss, their pain, their struggles that have got them to this point. So no, I will not be acknowledging or giving any type of credit to Donald Trump and his administration, because they don't deserve it. The people who deserve credit and love and support are those of Palestine. Those who have truly fought for liberation, those who have truly fought for their families, their people, not Donald Trump.
So for starters, before I came out today, I sat down, had lunch with my wife, and we watched the whole thing with Trump in Egypt signing the peace deal between all the other countries in the Middle East and whatnot, the ceasefire with Gaza and Israel. So let's just say it, let's just be honest here. This happened majority because of Donald Trump. The ceasefire, the peace in the Middle East deal, this is huge. This is really, really big. This is an amazing thing that he has done. Yet, of course, I've not seen one liberal get in front of a camera yet and say, you know what, holy crap. Hats off to Donald Trump. I didn't think he'd be able to swing this off, but he did it. This is what we wanted. We wanted to free Palestine. And to even top it off, it's even better than that. On top of it, we're talking about the whole Middle East here. They still got to get Iran on board. But this is absolutely massive. But no, not one of them can hop in front of a camera and say, you know what? Trump, can't stand you, but good job. You really did a good thing here, because what he's doing here is saving tons of lives. I don't even know what number to put on it. He's saving a lot of lives. But you know, like even expecting them to jump in front of a camera and give Trump some credit is asking too much. I never expected that at all, but I still have not seen one of them jump in front of a camera and say, wow, it's over, it's done. Good for the people of Palestine, and just completely ignore the Trump factor. But just be happy for the people of Gaza, for the Palestinians. So no, they can't even bring themselves to do that. So what do they want to do instead? They want to record videos pretending like, no, Donald Trump didn't do this. The Palestinian people did this for themselves. No credit is owed towards Trump. Not even going to acknowledge him about it. But still, she's not even acting happy that the whole Palestinian situation, it looks like it's over. They're on the right path here. I know the paperwork has been signed, but let's just see if it holds up. But instead of just avoiding giving Donald Trump credit, you want to pretend like he had nothing to do with it. You know, you liberals, you guys say some stupid things sometimes. You guys really show your intelligence is very thin. You try and act like you're all smart. You try and act like you're all highly educated. You know, those favorite words of mine, critical thinking, pattern recognition, and all the rest of it. But this is a sheer display of pure stupidity. This girl could not make herself look any more dumb, and she knows it as well. Look at the look on her face as she's saying all this stuff to the camera. She does not believe it herself. She knows damn well that Donald Trump is the reason why Palestine is now free. Everything that they've been wanting for the past 2 years, they owe it all to Donald Trump. And it's killing them inside. To the point that they are so incredibly selfish, I bet you that they wish that this peace deal never happened, and that Palestine would have to suffer for another 3.5 years, and they would hope that a Democratic president gets in, and that he would create a peace deal. Nobody's been able to swing off what he just swung off, but yet they are so incredibly selfish. Not only can they not recognize what he did, they would rather still be able to protest and hold up their Free Palestine signs than be happy for the people in Gaza.
Arrest him. Arrest him now. What are you motherfuckers so damn scared about? Go wherever that fucking slug is existing and drag his ass out, put handcuffs on him, and throw him in a fucking jail cell. What are you afraid of? For God's sakes, are you so fucking scared for your own little personal life that you're gonna let the rest of the country get totally fucked over? Fuck you too. Democrats, fuck you. There's a handful in there that are actually trying to do something. The rest of you feckless, spineless pieces of shit, we're gonna vote your asses out too. Shame on all you ignorant motherfuckers.
Do not ever let me have a debate with a pro-lifer, because they'll be like, so you agree with killing babies, like fully termed, like babies in my stomach? Yes. Next.
Bro, do you know how stupid you guys on the right look when you keep referring to Antifa as if it's an organization? Stop doing that. You're dumb. You're being dumb.
Yo, I've got a question. If I am transgender, which I am, and Antifa, of which I am, does that make me a double terrorist? Or does it cancel out? I'm confused here.
Trump is actively trying to start a civil war in America, and he has. We are on the brink of going into civil war. And before you say that I'm being dramatic and I don't know what I'm talking about, he had Texas, a state that agrees with all of his policies, agrees with everything that he says, and will go along with his fascist regime. He told them to deploy their National Guard into Illinois, a state that doesn't agree with Trump, that doesn't agree with his fascist regime, and actively works against him. Okay? He sent a red state to deploy their National Guard into a blue state. He is trying to get both sides to fight against each other. Not to mention, he is threatening the reinvoking of the Insurrection Act. And if you don't know what the Insurrection Act, in the most digestible way I can feed it to you, it is pretty much just the president having the power to deploy military into every single state, onto their streets. This Insurrection Act is only in case of emergencies, like serious fucking emergencies in the country. And he is twisting a narrative, saying that protesters are out of hand, saying that these blue states are out of hand, that they're violent, that they're a threat to the country, when in reality, they're not. It's peaceful protesting. What makes those protests dangerous are the ICE agents, are the National Guard that are sent there and violently take down the protest. That's what's dangerous, not the protesters themselves, not the states themselves. The people that Trump is sending into these protests to diffuse it in a violent manner. That's what's dangerous. So he's using this as an excuse to deploy our troops into our streets. Do you see what I'm saying here? And you may be asking, why would he do this? Like, this makes no sense. Why would he do this? If there's a civil war, there will be no elections. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? If there is a civil war, there will be no elections, which means that Trump and the people that he has placed into other offices will be there until the war is done. There is no voting them out. There's nothing. There's none of that. Trump is actively making himself a dictator. He is actively seizing all power over the United States. To do what? To, in the most blatant way I can, perpetuate the fascist regime.
Okay, so let's be absolutely clear here about this whole civil war talk. I know liberals have been talking about it probably for about the past month now. They claim that Republicans and conservatives have been talking about it ever since the day of election, but that's simply just not true. If Donald Trump wanted a civil war, it would already be happening right now. So all of you liberals out there with your so-called peaceful protesting, which we all know is bullshit, your protests are not peaceful. Just because you got some guys wearing frog suits and chicken suits and doing some dancing, it does not mean that your protests are peaceful. Are they violent at all times? No, I'd be lying if I said that they were. But does violence erupt pretty much on a nightly basis in Portland? Yeah, it does. So if Donald Trump is forced to invoke the Insurrection Act, it's going to be your own doing. You guys have done it to yourselves. It's not because he wants civil war, because he wants to have an excuse to not have another election. Another election is welcome at this point. If there was another election tomorrow, Donald Trump would win again in a landslide. Any Republican would win in a landslide. Your Democrat Party is at an all-time low in favorability because they suck. And it's clearly obvious now. Many voters that usually vote left realize, like, holy shit, the Democrats really suck. And the favorability for the Republican Party right now is at an all-time high. Not in every aspect, but in majority of them. In majority of the categories are at an all-time high. All the people that voted for Trump are actually quite happy with what's going on. So triggering off a civil war in hopes to avoid an election, that's just absolute nonsense at this point. The Republican Party would have nothing at all to worry about. Now, when it comes to the Insurrection Act, that's a whole different story. I've been talking about it for several months. I've been predicting that the liberals are going to bring it on themselves. And I think that day is coming soon. I really think that Trump's back is being put in a corner. Believe it or not, right now he's still being Mr. Nice Guy. A lot of liberals think that he's a mean, scary tyrant, but he's still being Mr. Nice Guy at this moment in time. But something really tells me, something deep down inside, something in the back of my head is telling me that Mr. Nice Guy is only gonna last so much longer. He's going to have to take it up a step. Because let's face it, when it comes to the whole division between liberals and conservatives, Republicans, just the division in the country, which I really don't think is going to get any closer, but the liberal side is becoming more and more and more problematic. They're starting to get more aggressive. Political violence is drastically on the rise. He's not going to have a choice but to invoke the Insurrection Act. So to this young girl here, yeah, it's coming, and it's coming pretty soon. I'm pretty sure it's coming pretty soon. And if you honestly can't see how your side plays a drastic part in why all this is happening, you're either in denial, or you're just a very dishonest person, or you're just extremely stupid. But I don't know, she kind of felt like as if she had this big mic drop moment, you know, you feel where I'm coming from and whatnot. But the truth is, with your so-called peaceful protest and aggression towards federal officers, what do you expect? 10 years ago, do you think anybody would have had the nerve, would have had the guts to try and put their hands on a federal officer? Not at all. You guys have become so delusional that you can no longer tell left from right, up from down, right from wrong, forward from backwards. You guys are completely lost. You're in the upside down world. You convince yourself that the illegal criminals that have come into your country are the good people, and that the people that are trying to defend your country are the bad people. And mean old Donald Trump wants to start a civil war so he can form a dictatorship and stay in power forever. Believe it or not, Donald Trump just wants to fix your country. Your country is a mess. The Biden administration really screwed everything up, and nothing's going to stop him. If you want to call that a dictatorship, well, so be it. If you guys want to keep doing your so-called peaceful protests and keep escalating violence, that's really not going to be a happy ending for you guys. In reality, you guys have two choices. You can either get on board and help get your country back on track, or simply get the hell out of the way.
Just to put my 2 cents into the mix, fuck your purple revolution. I'm never gonna forgive those people that voted for him, ever. And we're done, as a society, we are done not holding shitty people accountable when they do something shitty. Like, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to forgive a racist that voted for Trump, who now lost their health care? No, I don't think so. I think you're getting exactly what you voted for, and that just makes me so happy. And just like to add on another thing to, oh, we should just, we need to move on. We need to unite. No. You know who had a really good idea? Brad Pitt's character in Inglourious Bastards. I would like to be able to identify you for the rest of your life. Because it is that serious. It is that bad. Purple Revolution. You guys are fucking nuts.
Why aren't we shooting back at them? Can anybody explain that to me? I don't own a firearm, but if I saw an ICE agent, it would brick right to their fucking dome. So why are the armed citizens not shooting back at them? Just a question.
Look, TikTok, all I'm saying is that Antifa means anti-fascism, okay? And if you fight against Antifa, you fight for fascism. And if you fight for fascism, you're a bad person.
If what I'm about to say offends you, go fuck yourself. Nazis aren't human, fascists don't deserve rights, and ICE are a bunch of grown-ass man-children that want to feel special about peaking in high school. Have a good day.
Quick question. Are y'all not embarrassed? Is this not embarrassing for y'all? You know who you are. Are you not just constantly humiliated? Every single day, every new news cycle? Is it not just completely embarrassing? I would be embarrassed if I were in your shoes. Or is it a humiliation kink? Because I feel like that's what it has to be. Because there's no way. There's no way. But who would have thought that nearly half of the country would have a humiliation kink? Seems kind of weird to me, but it's embarrassing to watch. It's embarrassing to see.
What should Trump supporters be embarrassed of? Or what should they be humiliated of? Because the only thing I'm seeing, and I don't live in that country, I'm watching from afar, the only thing I'm really seeing is win after win after win. And now when you add on this Middle East peace deal, how the hell do you guys take that and try and turn it into a negative? He just accomplished what no other president in United States history has been able to do. And you want to sit there and ask Trump supporters if they're embarrassed. If they're not embarrassed on a daily basis when they watch all the news updates. No, I hear from a lot of Trump supporters on social media sites, and I also hear from a lot of you liberals as well. You guys try and take a lot of things out of context. You try and make it look like, oh, look, Trump is delusional. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Yet, You guys were able to sit there and watch Joseph Robinette Biden mumble and stumble on screens for 4 years and you had nothing to say. And I'm sorry, even if you take this Middle East peace deal away and the ceasefire in Gaza away, he still has done so much more in just 8 to 9 months than your previous 4 years. Joe Biden was absolutely god-awful. Terrible president, danger to your country, and quite honestly, he was a treasonous president. What he did with your border was treason. And you know the truth is, it's really truly only you American liberals, the ones in the United States of America, that are this much in denial about your border being an issue. When you had an open border and Kamala Harris sat there and said, no, there's nothing wrong with the border's secure, you guys fell for it. Yet, you've seen that there was a severe immigration problem. Now in my country, we have an immigrant problem as well. But at least the liberals out here acknowledge it. They understand it. Yeah, they're just as woke as you guys, but the difference is they recognize that it's directly affected them, and they started to speak up. Look at the liberals out in the UK. They've started to speak up as well. In Germany, they started to speak up as well. But you liberals in the United States cannot get in front of a camera and admit what Joe Biden did. He left your borders wide open intentionally, and it disrupted your citizens. But no, instead of facing that reality and realizing, because I think most of you in the back of your head know that this is for the better of your country, but it's the fact that it's being orchestrated by Donald Trump. That's what the problem is. If Joe Biden won his election again this year, or Kamala Harris won her election this year, and did the exact same thing that Trump is doing right now, you guys would look at them like they're American heroes. But instead, you low IQ moronic libtards decide to get in front of your camera, press record, and ask people that voted for Trump if they're embarrassed, or if they're humiliated because they have a president that's winning. I'm sorry, I know you guys don't like what you call the R word now, but that's absolutely retarded. So I'm sorry that majority of you snowflake liberals just really can't seem to grasp reality and get on board with helping to fix your country and push for what's truly right over wrong. Most of you libtards no longer have your head screwed on straight. You really can't tell right from wrong at this point. And if you really think what Trump is doing is wrong by kicking illegal immigrants out of your country, and if you guys think that the protesters are justified and that the Trump administration should be put in jail after his term is done and that ICE is Gestapo, you guys are truly on the wrong side of history. I don't know if you guys are ever going to wake up, but unfortunately for you, you guys still have 3.5 solid years of this left. And by the time those 3.5 years are up, woke will be gone. Woke will be done, woke will be a thing of the past. So if you guys are hanging on, hoping that 2028 comes around and you guys somehow swing off a presidential election victory, that's not gonna happen. But even if it did, and you guys thought that some Democrat president is gonna hop right back in and turn things back to the way how they were under Joe Biden, you're dead wrong. It's just occurring to me now that poor Milo didn't even make an appearance yet this video. I like to get him on camera while I bring him outside, eh Milo? Hey bud? Yeah, there we go. Out of the street, bonehead. Get out of the street, you dum-dum. All right, you wanna go home? Trying to go? All right, let's get out of here, bud. All right, guys, that is it for me. It's starting to get gray out here. It's time to start heading back home. The last thing I wanna be is a long distance away from my house and get soaked in the rain. So with that being said, you guys take care. Until next video, have a good one, guys.
This is your favorite president, or as they call me, Chief Golden Eagle, and I wanted to wish you a very happy Columbus Day. I knew Christopher Columbus very well. He was a great friend of mine. I called him Chris, and he did a tremendous job. But the radical left-wing crazy Democrats want to call it Indigenous Peoples Day, and I get along very well with the indigenous people. They love me. They call me Chief Golden Eagle. They say, Chief, what are we going to do about these crazy radical left-wing Democrats like Lion Liz Warren? I call her Pocahontas. Chief Spitting Bull. She's a horrible person and a loser, and the only woman who has ever failed a DNA test. Nobody ever thought that was possible, but she failed a DNA test. What a disgrace. Jiggly Belly Pritzker. I call him Chief Eats Too Much. Chief Broken Scale. Every scale he steps on says, ouch, you're hurting me, please get off. He's a huge guy. He keeps stuffing his face. He's a huge guy and a stupid guy. And Peso Store Obama, right? You look at him in his sombrero. El Hakimo, Chief Tiny Teepee. He has a very small teepee. I have a huge teepee. Everybody knows about it. He has a tiny teepee. You know what I'm talking about. And he ought to be ashamed of himself. And he is ashamed of himself. Chief Tiny Teepee El Hakimo. but we are sending out an executive order via smoke signal commemorating today as Columbus Day. We're making it Columbus Day again, celebrating my tremendous friend, Christopher Columbus, and all of his incredible achievements. So happy Columbus Day. God bless you. God bless America. And thank you for your attention to this matter.